Hey, beer geeks. Jim here. Beer to you. Well, hell, you're there, I'm here. Let's drink some beer. So today's victim is from the Port Townsend Brewery in, shockingly enough, Port Townsend, Washington. Kind of smallish town on the Olympic Peninsula. They've been making craft beer for about 20 years, according to their website. Nautical themed. I know, I'm a geek. I promise the next beer I do will not have a nautical theme. It'll be something completely un-nautical. But this is their porter. So figured a lot of IPAs, but it's January. Happy New Year, by the way. I don't know how nice it is where you are, but it is cold, it is wet, and it is windy. And sometimes you just want a nice warm porter to get you in the sweet spot. So that's this one. The Port Townsend Brewing Company's porter. This big bad Johnny comes, they bottle only, and they come in these big old 22 ounces. So get an imperial pint glass, bring a friend. There's some beer to be drunk here. So let's get this cat in a glass and see what we're dealing with here. So while we're pouring, this big boy weighs in at 5.5% ABV and 25 IBUs. So obviously not a super bitter beer, but it's a porter. It's not designed to be. It's designed to be rich and roasty, toasty, chocolatey, all that good stuff. And here we go. There we are. So in the light, it may look a black. It's not quite Guinness black. It is definitely a little browner, but it's dark, you know. Light does not pass through it. With a pretty thin, say about one finger of a kind of creamsicle colored head, a little browner than normal. And let's dive into a little smell test here. There's some I get some roasted coffee almost, and chocolate. You get a really strong chocolate note. And I think reading on the website, they said there was a pretty healthy dosage of caramel malt in there, as well as, you know, some of the dark roasts. You gotta be careful when brewing. If the guys who use some of the really roasted, toasted malts, if you use them injudiciously, that can go from a warm, roasty flavor to bitter and astringent. You don't like that. This doesn't smell like that. This smells chocolate is the predominant note I get on the nose. Well, let us dive in, shall we? Cheers. Coffee you smell, coffee you shall taste. Chocolate you smell, chocolate you shall taste. This is a very much like if you were to take in a good way, if you were to take like a Hershey Kiss and drop it in a cup of black coffee. It's got a very chocolatey note, but it's also got a very roasty coffee note. Tickling the edge of that bitter astringency I talked about, where you get with some of the roasts. A little bit bitter on the finish, but you know, remember, it's not hop bitterness. This is like a roasted, almost like kind of over-strong coffee bitterness. Just a titch, not bad though. It's not distracting. It is there. But upon second review, getting more chocolate than coffee this go around, and that bitterness is very, very much gone away. So maybe that was just first sip as my palate is adjusting. I haven't drank a porter in a while, but here we go. So what does the world think of this? The Untapped app has it at 3.7, rounding up, like 3.69 I think when I check, out of 5, with about 1,000 reviews. So what does that tell you? This is not as widely accessible as, say, like the Founder's Porter, which had 22,000 reviews. So this is definitely a Washington treat. So for my local people, definitely check it out. If you're not local, come visit us. We have tons and tons and tons of great breweries to visit. So super fun. I will go back to doing some more widely accessible things for my folk that are not locals, but I notice I've been journeying through the YouTubes and noticing a lot of the beer reviewers and some of the people that are on Facebook and other channels doing these kind of things. They tend to review what's local, shockingly enough. So I reviewed this. So this is the part in our show where I decide to assign a completely arbitrary number out of 10 to tell you what I think of this beer. So what is that number? I'm torn. Let me take one more sip. I was gonna ding it for being a little too roasty and almost bitter, but then I took another sip and it's not there. I'm getting coffee and I'm getting chocolate. I'm getting that nice warming sensation, which is good. I mean, it's only 5.5% alcohol, so it's not a giant beer that's gonna destroy you. Better not in a 22 ouncer. That's a lot of beer. So I'm gonna give this beer a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 for me. Which I think pretty much marries up with kind of the Untapped consensus there. So it's good, not great, worth checking out. Certainly in this kind of weather, if you're thinking about getting lost in the sea of IPAs, which I have for a long time, someone finally threw me a lifeline. Don't sleep on the dark beers. There's a lot of good things in the roasty, toasty, malty goodness that's practically a vitamin. I mean, it's good for you. Anyway, so I think that is about it for this one. So I mentioned Untapped. We are on the Untapped app, reviewing beers, doing all that stuff. So if you can find us, you want a friend request or however that works on Untapped, I don't know. I feel like I check in and I get a badge every time. I guess it's super fun. But also, we have a website and all the social medias. We're out there. We got the Instagrams, the Facebooks, all that good stuff. This is the point in our show where I ask you, kind friends, if you like what we're doing, please smash that like button. If you want to see more of it, please subscribe, hit the bell for a notification. There's also should be a subscribe button floating around somewhere magically on your screen. Click on that and you can subscribe as well. Otherwise, we're back. We're going to stay in business, hopefully, for no more 6-month hiatuses from reviews, and hopefully some good stuff coming. So leave some comments below, converse, talk about it, tell me I'm an idiot, all the things. Don't tell me I'm an idiot, it hurts my feelings. Anyway, until we see you next time, dear friends, beer nerds of the world unite. Please, always keep looking out for the good stuff. Cheers.